Kick her, Kendall. Wake her up.
That's a good start.
It is.
Kick this baby in your stomach. That's how we started off the episode.
He's telling her to kick me.
To wake her up.
Hello,
Kendall kick you.
everybody.
Yeah. Wake her up.
Holy smokes.
Welcome to another
Are you
episode of the
tired
Alter
too?
Ego Podcast.
We're tired, boy.
Put your hand there so you can kick Dad now to wake him up.
So, we're a little delirious here in the Austin house.
We are.
We got a baby 6 days out.
We're not,
we don't know.
you have tornado warnings and tornado watches.
Yeah.
We have a Kendall. We were in Kendall warning for a while. Now we're in the Kendall watch.
Yeah, we're in the watch zone.
Now we know
And we're tired.
she is a coming.
Yep.
Whoo! Hello, everybody.
Ryan's trying to coax her into kicking me because I'm tired.
Welcome to the 121st episode of the Alter Ego Podcast. As you can tell, Mr. Ryan is back.
Hey.
Oh my goodness. It has been a while. So it's funny, Ryan hasn't been in our house for 2 weeks, and I
Which
feel
is
like
crazy.
I haven't seen him in 6 months.
Yeah.
I was going to be like, this has been forever.
Yeah.
I almost got nervous before I walked in. I was like, I haven't been here long.
Should I just walk in?
Mike just shoot me. It's been a long time.
Oh my goodness. Woo! Well, there's some things going on. Not a lot of news this week. Maybe I'm just missing it. Maybe
I'm just blind.
Maybe I'm just blind.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's not a lot of stuff, but we've got some things we want to talk about. But first and foremost, the one thing I do want to talk about is Ford Supply Company. Offers of a curated line of craft soaps and beard care handmade in the USA, offering scents like coffee and cream, coconut, citrus, cedarwood, and many more. Check out the full line of craft soaps, beard oil, and beard balm online at FordSupply.com. Free U.S. shipping on all orders over $35 and get an additional 10% off with the promo code ALTEREGO. Ford Soap, real soap.
No bullshit.
None.
And Nello's not even here. He doesn't even care about you guys anymore, to be
Nope.
quite
He
honest.
does.
He's too busy making
He's
pizzas
making,
and pastas
he's
and whatnot.
making dinner tonight
He
there
said
at Tony
people of the
Nell's.
world, they just they don't matter to me anymore.
That's not true.
Bringing them the nerd news is not important to me. It's not a priority.
We need to bribe him with like fake Eagles tickets.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we need.
Fake Eagles tickets even.
That would be amazing. I would love to see his face to watch him walk up, scan the ticket, and go,
That'd be
and
so
him just
messed
like,
up.
what?
Like, you guys got me.
That would warm my heart. I would sleep like a baby that night.
So terrible.
But yes, here we are. We're back. So the couple things that are out there that from last week that I wanted to talk to you about were Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Did you get to see anything on it?
Nope.
Have you not seen the trailer? Nothing.
No, I told you, man. I don't do trailers even for video games.
You're not hyped for it.
Excuse me. I am hyped, but I'm just gonna buy. Probably 99% just gonna buy it regardless.
Just gonna see it and buy it.
Yep.
Huh. It
It's
looks
one of those
huge.
things.
Here's the thing that I want to know
good?
in some of these video games is how many times can Hyrule be attacked where people are just like, you know what? I'm done with this place.
Hey, how many times does Princess Peach get kidnapped, and yet we still go get our plumber buddy and go rescue her?
I am
Truly,
not by any means disagreeing with you. I think our logic here is the exact same.
Yeah, it's gonna get old. I just hope they do a little more than they did in the Breath of the Wild, but I'm all here for it. If it's the same play style,
What do you mean do
Love
more?
it.
What do you mean do more?
I don't know, just add a few more systems. Like one of the things that actually disappointed me was the fact that you could kill things, and you could eat food, but you didn't have to. I know a lot of people hate that concept, but I kind of like it because it gives you something to go do. Like, oh, I need to eat, so go grab or find food.
I actually
Makes it
started
more realistic.
that with a version of Skyrim that came out where it was so detailed. Like you needed to eat, if you wanted to have magical abilities, you needed to rest. If you were going somewhere that was high altitude, you needed warm clothing. Otherwise, you were going to start losing your stamina. It was crazy. Or if you went somewhere that was super hot, you couldn't be wearing tons and tons of heavy armor.
Yep, same thing in Breath of the Wild. So that's one of the systems I would like to have seen.
Here's what I didn't like about Breath of the Wild that I'd like to see change. Maybe not the weapon degrading system. I don't mind that weapons degrade and break. I just want you to not lose them forever. They could be broken. You could still collect the pieces and reforge your sword.
Okay.
Know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say there should be like a blacksmith to where you could get to levels on it or something like that.
And you should be able to work up a sword to where it will not break.
Technically, it's a master sword.
No, I know.
But
if I don't want to use the master sword, like if I prefer to use the spear for my fighting, why can't I level up my spear? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I honestly think that was done intentionally because most of those weapons, they're in the same spot when they spawn. You can find them. But then, too, like certain enemies have those weapons, so you kind of go back to those areas and fight them. Me, I only use Lionel weapons now, so I just go hunt down all the gold Lionels whenever I'm running low on weapons and then go from there.
Well, that was also a late game feature.
Yeah.
Well, no, nothing in that game is late game. You can go find whoever you want whenever you want. But obviously, you're going to have so much increased difficulty.
Actually, I watched a YouTube video, and he showed me cheese, and I use the cheese when I fight the Lionels. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh, so
I cheese the hell out of them.
So for those of you who don't know what a cheese is, cheesing something is not cheating. It is taking advantage of game mechanics to make certain fights easier. For instance, if you have a blind spot where you can hit the enemy but they can't hit you, and you just sit there and spam it until the enemy dies, obviously you don't have to deal with all their challenging maneuvers or their heavy-hitting weapons. You just stand there and kill them for free.
Yep.
So what's the cheese for them?
Them, you can use your the crisis, the stasis, freeze him, shoot him in his weak spot, wait for him to shake his head, shoot him again in his weak spot. He goes down. You can hop on his back and hit him with your strongest weapon. This is also a part of the cheese. Your weapon doesn't take damage whenever you use it to hit him on the back, so it won't break. So then you just get your strongest weapon, hit him on the back, hop off, rinse and repeat. And it only takes like 2 or 3 times and you kill him. Wow.
That sounds exhilarating.
It is. It's kind of fun because you can mess it up.
I'm sure you can.
And when you do, you're in a fight. So
when you mess it up, it's all over but the screen.
It's all, yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I think we talked about this. There's not a lot of things to talk about, but one thing that you wanted to talk about, since we're on the topic of video games,
oh man,
was Overwatch 2, which released recently for free on Xbox Game Pass or wherever.
Free kinda,
but it is free now.
Free kinda.
No, it's exactly free. It is 100% free.
There's some caveats.
No, there are no caveats.
Fair, the game is free, so it is free.
Well, download it now because it's going to take forever.
Oh, by the way, I logged in on Sunday. Today that we're recording this is Monday, so on the 8th, I logged in and said, "Do you want to bring over your old account?" And I said, "Yeah."
Duh.
Hundreds and hundreds of hours and cosmetics and stuff like that. Yeah, I do. They said, no problem. Your position in line is 600,000. And as of today, we're recording this 2 days later, my spot in line is 4,900. But as Ryan got to see, as soon as I finished a game, because I wanted to play one real quick before we got in here and talked about it, my spot in line was 19,700, 12,000.
It jumped up.
Jumped back up
to 12,000.
What the hell?
Yeah,
I was outside for like 2 seconds.
That's what happened. So
stupid.
We've talked about Overwatch a little bit. We've talked about when I played the open beta. Did you play the open beta?
No, I did not.
So there's a lot of differences now between new Overwatch here that we have now and old Overwatch. Old Overwatch had the loot box system. It was a 6v6 game, 2 tanks, 2 healers, 2 DPS. Now there are no more loot boxes, which some people say good, some people say bad. And there are now only 1 tank, 2 healers, 2 DPS, which is damage per shot or attack people. And so they've also added a lot of passives to every character as well, right?
Yeah, I've seen that too. A lot of tanks have passives. I don't know if DPS does. I didn't really pay that
all
much
characters
attention.
now have passives.
Yeah, so I guess so. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize DPS did passive things. I didn't figure they would.
They do.
But I mean, healers, I understand. Like, healers are going to heal when they're not doing anything. They're going to heal themselves automatically.
Right. Their bodies, their health, I think, automatically starts to heal either 2 or 3 seconds after they're out of combat.
Yeah, I don't know what most tanks are.
Yeah.
I know some, I think, heal passively. I think the new person, or
The Junker Queen, she has an ability that heals herself temporarily, but they've dialed that back. And I was watching a couple streamers too before we got on, and they're saying that Junker Queen was coming in and she was going to be super OP, and then all of a sudden that dropped off too.
Because they messed with the sauce.
They did. I'm sad to inform you that I personally have put on one character alone over 500 something hours. I think on Lucio I have so many hours, and now that game just feels unplayable. It's just bad.
It's really depressing for me too because I like the skins.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And it's that time of year where all the good skins come out.
Halloween and Christmas, yeah.
Man, better get that battle pass if you want it, because you ain't getting it out of a loot box.
That is the newest rendition to Overwatch. Is now everything is done on a battle pass. And your new characters, unless you buy that premium battle pass for a certain while, they will be locked to you. Now, eventually, they will be free. So if you want to do the true way and not pay a dime, you don't have to pay a dime, and you'll still get your characters. And there is a free battle pass, too. Now, of course, all the cosmetics that you want and all the good stuff is locked behind the battle pass. But no more is it you're earning loot boxes and getting something that you want with the chance of getting that legendary skin or anything like that for completely free. Those days are gone.
See, I feel two ways about that, because I used to be one of those guys who would buy a pack of loot boxes I don't have the time. So those Halloween joints come out, let's see what I can grab. Now I can just pay you $10 and I don't have to worry about it. Here, take my money.
Yeah,
I'll take the skin. If it's guaranteed to me, absolutely. I'd rather do that than waste $100 trying to buy loot boxes hoping I get one of them.
I guess so. I just feel like if it's a different feel for a game, if it's not with the game that I felt like I was good at or that I liked, and you changed all the aspects that I was good with, you used to be able to get kills pretty easily. You used to be able to, even as a healer, do damage that was effective and help your team. Now everything heals so fast that you have to have complete communication if you want to be an effective team. And the problem with that is if you're getting on with one or two people, you're not able to communicate. Everybody's doing whatever the hell they want, and it is going to rely solely on the ability of your main tank to stay up or your healers to stay up. I don't think DPS actually matter at all in this game.
I haven't. I've had some instances where I've seen where DPS can really just go in and wipe a squad and try to carry. So
on an ultimate,
yeah.
Sure,
but yeah, this game definitely feels a lot different. I kind of like it, but I don't like it in the same as
It's not as it's kind of foreign.
Yeah, for me, I think the tank aspect is the thing that I don't like. The one tank.
Yeah,
because like you said, they're you are seriously that tank has to be able to do his job or her job, their job.
Yeah,
and nothing better than when you have watch off healers and then you've got a diva and you're we're gonna get booty work this whole entire round.
Yeah, because nobody's there to heal her.
No,
or she's
shield.
off fighting somebody.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Huh. I think for sure there are certain players that benefit from stuff like that, but I don't know. It's going to hurt some and help some. But you're also going to have a much larger pool of players that are going to be jumping in these games, because now that it's free, there's a lot of people who are like, screw it, I'll get it.
Are they? Because, if they have Cricket or some other wireless different thing, they can't even get their old accounts back.
Yeah.
Which is a terrible move by Activision.
Blizzard is now just becoming one of those companies, and my last hope for them is Diablo 4. I think Diablo 4 is their last chance to pull up and save it. And Diablo is going the way of a battle pass in certain regards.
A lot of games are. People just want to make money, which is why, you were talking about back then, Overwatch 2, you're being excited about the PvE. I had a feeling they were going to put PvE in that game.
Well,
it costs too much to make and not enough people play it.
Right. They are now. They are still working on it, but they're not going to do it exclusively at launch like they originally said they would, which is, it just tears me up. I hate that.
They got to get that Battle Pass money first, you know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing is like, you look at how profitable they were. I mean, goddamn, they had to be making money hand over fist on these freaking loot boxes.
Yeah, but then now too, like I said, with Overwatch 1.5, who really wants to pay? Who cares?
Not to mention,
it's a dead game.
Not to mention, if you liked the 6v6 version, you can always go back and play Overwatch 1. Oh, wait.
No, you can't.
They completely shut that game down.
Yeah.
You can't even load it up anymore.
Nope.
You get Overwatch 2 or you go find something else to play.
Exactly. I mean, for me, like I said, the worst part about this is we waited, 3 years for this game?
Yeah.
And you come out with 3 characters and one of them's behind a paywall?
Mm-hmm.
And you make people wait and wait and wait and wait for everything that they
queue?
earned over all the years.
Yeah, wasn't it?
that's annoying.
Bro, can I tell you how I was sitting there that night? I loaded up, get in, got to wait for the queue, had to uninstall, reinstall the game, and then made it through the queue after it's sitting there for almost 40 minutes. I get in, hit the play, and none of my shit's there. When I tell you I about flip shits and just like, I am done. I am done. And then I took to the internet and found out that it's a bug that they're going to fix it.
Took to the internet.
I'm like, all right.
Me and my squadrons of people.
And I was like, we right at dawn, bitches. And
I'm not going to lie. You were took the internet.
Yeah.
You were just as frustrated, but I could tell that you were it was like such a defeated sort of frustration.
Bro, exactly. Because
you earned all that and half of it you paid for, but like he was like, so look at this. And he showed it to me and I was like, oh no. And he was like, I know. And I could tell that he wanted to like rip his skin off, but he was so like deflated.
I've never felt so seen in my life.
No, truly.
So check this out.
It literally was just like, you have to see this. And I'm like, I don't think this is good.
Yeah.
I don't think he's showing me something cool.
No.
I was shook at first. I'm like, man, I am not playing this.
Well, then it was like, convert all your stuff. And I was like, well, I would think that since I had the beta, they might have put me in some sort of priority queue and looked at my hours and looked at how many levels I had to go, oh, this guy's played a ton of Overwatch.
Hundreds and
Let's
hundreds
put
and
him
hundreds of hours.
up at the front of the queue.
Or maybe just the beta people maybe go first.
Something.
Whatever. But
People
the fact that you're
who-
jumping around the time slots, that's stupid.
I don't even understand why there is a queue or why that works. Like, why wouldn't you design this just to go?
Why wouldn't you have?
Yeah, why
have
can't it just be
tried
individual
to
updates?
Integrate these people's profiles into the new game. And I'm not trying to say that I know any better. I don't know if this process works or doesn't work. So I'm not a developer. I'm not going to sit here and try to get in their mind and to see why they do what they do with the servers they have and the technology they have. I'm just saying, if you wanted to be somewhat preventative or not preventative, what's the word I'm thinking of?
Proactive?
Proactive, thank you. And say, here are the players that have been playing a shit ton and been playing recently.
That's a big thing, too.
I had the game pre-downloaded, too, before it released. So why wouldn't you say, okay, this person's downloaded the game, here's their profile. When you download it, they should have said, do you want to download your old stats? Yeah.
Obviously.
Absolutely.
No, you know what? Let's start fresh, even though I can't go back and play any of the shit that I've played for the last ever many years it's been that you've been playing that game. 6 years?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh,
Since Overwatch first came out, it came out with another game that was another battle team v team game. I forget the name of it, but that was supposed to be really, really good. And then there was Overwatch. I tried the other game for a couple games. I was like, oh, Overwatch is by Blizzard? Let's check that out. And then I was hooked.
talking about Paladins?
Not Paladins, but I think I don't know. I saw Dado playing it, and it was something that he was playing, and then he was like, oh, yeah, there's Overwatch as the competitor. And I was like, what's Overwatch? So, I don't know. I'm worried for the state of games anymore. Advertisements truly are my worst nightmare. I hate them so much. Everything in life right now seems to be an ad. If you're listening to this show, you've listened to a couple of ads.
And probably have more to come.
Where people are sitting there trying to get you to spend your hard-earned dime on whatever it is that they have, and they want to go after your age, your sex, your demographic, whatever you are, and that's all they want to do is they want to get at you and make you spend your money, which is the same thing. That's just this pandering crap. There was a story that I saw about Velma from Scooby-Doo and how they're like, Velma from Scooby-Doo is finally a lesbian. And listen, I have a lot of friends, LGBTQ community. I'm with you, love you, great. I don't care what your age, sex, religion, whatever it is. Everybody's like, oh, it's all about representation. That's fine. Representation is great. Why are we worried about the cartoon Great Dane's friend's sex life? Well, I don't care. I don't want to see it from Fred and Daphne. I don't want to see it from anybody. We're losing.
It's a cartoon.
And this is, okay, so all these people are like, this is a W. This is so we can get seen. No, the fuck it's not. It is representation to an extent. You're absolutely right. What it is to try to get those households that have those two paychecks coming in, those two livelihoods that don't have to worry about taking care of kids. They want to make sure they're going to have that so they can throw their ads on that. So when the LGBT community comes over to watch it, they make sure they tell you that you need to buy their bear paint or go to Geico or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
So to me, it seems disingenuous. It's taking advantage. And it drives me absolutely insane. And video games are following the same trend, in my opinion. If I'm crazy, guys, if I'm out of line, let me know. No. But that's just how it feels.
Oh, no, you're kind of right. That's another reason why I said that. Like, that, I don't think they were going to put the PvE in there.
Yeah.
You make more money off of the Battle Pass system now. It's been shown, especially by Fortnite.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You're talking about a company that can make $1 billion off of a guy doing a stupid emote.
Yep.
Why would you? You know, why wouldn't you?
But it's just, that's all that I see now. When I see all these ads and they're geared in, I mean, anybody who's watched ads lately, please tell me if I'm wrong. There's more African-American business owners, couples, LGBT, all that, and they do it all in the name of representation. And I don't believe it. It just seems dishonest to me.
Yep, they got my daddy like that years ago in a Cadillac. I'm falling for that.
You're doing this just to try to go after those dollar bills. Don't act like you care. You don't.
Exactly.
And then it's just like, listen, hey, I'm glad they're going to stop trying to go after my dollars, but I'm sad they're going after everybody else's.
But at the same time, it's like, and I know that's not what you were trying to indicate.
No.
It's not like we're going to stop buying from Geico because there isn't a white couple.
For sure. I could give a shit.
Exactly.
I could care less.
It's the type of thing that doesn't matter. And of course, we're speaking from our standpoint and not from those that might be now feeling represented.
And if people find some joy in the fact that they came out and said that Velma is a lesbian, good for you. If that's what you're looking for, great. All I'm saying is these are children.
Yeah, it's a cartoon.
That's the thing. Let's try to keep the sex, no matter whose it is, out of their little minds for as long as possible. We've dealt with a kid who's a kid who says, I don't want a cookie because I don't want to get fat. And this is all these beauty standards and bullshit that's pushed through all these ads now and through the cartoons and through all the media. It's driving me insane.
We're talking an 11-year-old boy.
11-year-old boy. I don't want to have a cookie. I don't want to get fat. What?
Smack the teeth out of his mouth.
Are you kidding me? And then you look at the stuff that's on Netflix or the cartoons or the video games, and you're just like,
it's
no
all
wonder.
Pandering. Yeah.
That's all it is.
So like Soldier and Tracer being gay.
I don't care, right?
I'm shooting people in the face. I don't care if this guy likes to suck cock.
I don't either. No, but I'm
really
with you. It's like this is my reaction. Soldier 76 is gay. Okay. Cool. Is he not shoot Helix rockets now?
Yeah.
Does he not have the sprint cancel? Tell me. Tracer's a lesbian now. Okay. The pulse bomb is still a thing though, right?
Yep.
I don't care.
Exactly.
But again, some people might.
And
if that's the way that it works, great.
If you find the representation there, good. I'm not trying to say that your way of life is incorrect.
Right.
I don't care if they come out and say Junkrat likes to stick his butthole on his RC cars. I don't care. I don't want to hear about the cartoon's weird kinks or anything like that.
Yeah.
The thing is, leave it to the imagination. If you look at a character and you think you identify with that character, you do. I don't care. You don't need to come out and spell it out for me.
I don't know. Ryan's a cisgendered male. I don't think I could play him anymore.
Aside from that, and I don't know.
Those people make me laugh. Hold on. Let me just finish this little train of thought.
Okay.
If I ever make those kind of comments, those people, you make me laugh so much. If it's like Soldier's gay and you come out and say, I'll never play that character again, just know I'm laughing my ass off at you.
Yeah.
That you've allowed this thing to bother you to the point where
living
you
in
can't
your head.
rent free, and it is tickling me pink. I just love it. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry. What were you
I was just going to say, and who's kidding who, when it comes to Velma, I mean, we all kind of known this our whole lives.
Yeah.
Like, as you've gotten older, you're kind of like, okay, yeah, no shit. Like,
Yeah. And this is
But
what I'm
see-
saying. Is like now that we're older, this is the time that we would go, okay, that makes sense. But as a kid, all I cared about was the fact that when she lost her glasses, there was a ghost coming.
yes.
And she said, Jinkies? And then you heard
And
it crack.
started looking.
And she
that's it.
she was the brain of the operation, and half
Yes.
the time she didn't find her glasses until the ghost was already revealed.
Yep.
All right.
And then it was Shaggy and Scooby Doo freaking the hell out
Yeah.
and running away.
You don't pay attention to those things.
Because it's not important.
No.
They're catching ghosts. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or solving mysteries.
That's it.
That's the point of it. Not whose carpet Velma's munching on. Like, we don't care.
But you're not incorrect,
Right.
and that's what I'm saying. Is like I'm not saying I would ever stop watching Scooby Doo because
No.
of this. It doesn't bother me. I don't care.
It's just like you said. It's just like it seems like all of the sudden
Yeah.
it's something that everybody wants to be a part of, and that's why they say that it's like the woke things are just waking up to. But that's the thing, is that everybody is now jumping on that wagon of feeling like they need to be involved in that instead of just continuing to make good cartoons or continuing to make good characters or whatever. It's got to be a constant focus on who am I not going to offend today, and it's like that's what makes the world soft.
And another thing is like, what's wrong with creating something new and genuine? If you want to have somebody join the team that
Right.
feels a certain way or is depicted a certain way, I don't care. But they go and they want to take everybody's characters that they love and say, oh, well, this is different
But see,
now.
we've talked about that over and over and over again about how, like, apparently there's just nothing new ever coming in the history of new things because everything has to be redone or they have to have a black James Bond instead of creating a brand new. Like, we've had that conversation before, too. It's like, create a James Bond character that is, or, we get what we're saying.
But 007 was just like a connotation. It's not necessarily a person.
Right.
It's just
Right.
a number. So,
So it really doesn't matter.
I don't,
exactly.
I don't mind that. And
I don't
I
either,
agree
but
with
you
what
get
you're
what
saying.
I'm saying. It's
I
like,
think-
I'm not saying that that's a bad idea. I'm just saying we've had this conversation before that nothing is ever new. We're just constantly playing off of the same record that's been playing for the last 40 years of entertainment.
Yeah, I think
Everything's on a loop.
the best way of handling something like that and race or color or sexual orientation being brought up as something was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier when it's like, oh, look, it's Black Falcon. And he's like, what am I going to call you, Black Kid?
yeah,
Yeah.
No, I'm just the Falcon.
just the Falcon.
Let's just focus on the important part because race, that's not the important. Well, it is, but it's not, right?
No, it really isn't. It's like Morgan Freeman sat down in an interview. It's only a deal because you make it one.
Only 'cause you
Right.
make
It's
it a
because you're
big deal.
drawing attention to, and
Exactly
again,
right.
yeah,
Anyway.
it's an issue when it's
I
drawing
just
attention.
wish the ads and the manipulation
Yeah, the ads
and
are the
all that
worst.
kind of stuff and everything just being tied behind the dollars it earns as opposed to the experience it brings.
Right.
The more this stuff happens, the more I love Elden Ring. And the way that it was like, here's our game, this is what you get, period.
player.
Here it is.
And it's a completely mythical creature.
Play it.
Character
it's
world.
done.
You don't have to worry about
But not
it.
just that. Create whoever you want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's no singular person that you have to be. You can go out there, create that character in your image, play it how you want, do what you want. Here's this completely finished thing.
Yep, completely done.
And every other game just that seems to come out is like, well, we're going to have the beta, and then when the beta comes out, we're going to launch the game, and the game's going to come with a 13 gigabyte update. And once that update comes, then you got to have to go in there and check out which one of the 7 tiers of battle passes you want. Here are the tiers that you get. And by the way, we're going to make sure that we get that 7-Eleven themed sword or car or whatever in your game, but only if you pay this much will we throw that in. But by the way, that car goes 10 mile an hour faster than all the other cars.
And you get a set of MeUndies.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
and you don't get to pick the print.
Right.
that was the worst part I felt about Overwatch 2. I was like, you guys have been touting and talking about this game for the last 3 years. And the best you do, bro, is give me 3 characters?
Yeah.
Come on. Why? Why not just do that? You could have updated them and done the same exact thing. Mm-hmm. There was no need for this. Like I said, it should have just been Overwatch. Should have just been a platform, more so just like Call of Duty is now, or like Destiny, where you have
Or
different.
Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite is just a platform.
Yeah.
No reason to try to make me pay for all this, bro. And I feel bad for the people who can't play because of like their economic situation right now, if they have cricket or something else. Because that was the other thing that kind of had me shook when I went to go sign in, and it's like, yo, are you sure you want to merge this account? I read on the internet you only get one chance to do it a year. And I'm like, oh, okay. Is that the right account? Is it making sure it's not my wife's? Because I play on hers. Went for it, and it was right. But, and then to have a number, I was like, I don't even understand what that is. Like, why a BattleNet is a thing. Like, I get it if you want to save across different things and you want to have cross progression. You can't do that from email. You can't do that from a gamer tag or something.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Now, all these people can't play their game that they probably put time, their money into because they can't afford a phone plan because they're tired of the Verizon guy boinking them.
Boinking them.
Yeah, well, we hear a lot about boinking here on this show. So, I mean,
No
but
offense
you're
to the
not,
Verizon guy. I'm just saying.
But you're not wrong.
Can you hear me now?
You're not wrong.
Yeah. Why would I?
Anyway, we've kind of been on a soapbox about these video games and stuff that drive us crazy. Hey, man, find what you love, do it. Don't care. Find what makes you happy, do it. We don't care. We'll see you on the other side. But either way, we're going to take our first break of the day. Then we're going to get into a little something that caught me by surprise, and I loved it quite a bit, to be honest with you. And that's a little Werewolf by Night.
Werewolves by Night.
Talk to you in a minute.
Got time.
And we're back.
He's got time.
Nello 2.0 over here talking every time I record. Good Lord. And we're back. So we talked about ads and then made you listen to one. I'm really sorry.
Yeah. And then we talked about ads while you were listening to ads.
Yes.
Off the air.
Yeah, we sure did. We sat here and just kept rambling. Oh, boy.
It's because we love you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It is. You know, hopefully you get your MeUndies or whatever the hell else.
Yeah.
Pub
Whatever
subs.
it is.
So yes. We talked about it a little bit on the show last week. Some of the screenings and reviews for Werewolf by Night. They called it violent, funny, scary, all that kind of stuff.
Horror,
and it is for sure an homage to a lot of the really old,
the old black and white movies.
Yeah,
the Frankensteins and the whatchamacallits.
And I gotta say, for a Marvel
Thrillers.
project, this is, other than WandaVision, this is the most unique thing they have done.
1,000%. I would say that.
There is nothing in the MCU so far like Werewolf by Night.
Right.
This was very refreshing to me. I loved that they didn't come in and start talking about Infinity Stones.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say, and we need to worry about Blade or we need to talk about Doctor Strange. None of those people are referenced.
It was very disconnected in a good way.
Yeah, it was disconnected. It was all new lore. It definitely set up more of that underworld feeling.
Yes.
So the premise is...
It's okay. Beckinsale's going to show up with guns.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
The premise is there is a
werewolf?
This will be minimal spoilers.
I'm guessing there's a werewolf.
Well, Werewolf by Night. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's right.
Something like that.
So there is this crew, cult, whatever you want to call it, group of monster hunters. Truly, that is what they are.
That's what they're called.
And the
I bet you
leader,
one of them ain't Blade.
no, it wasn't. But the leader of this group was, I forget his first name, Bloodstone.
Ulysses.
And Ulysses Bloodstone, who, if you follow the comics, you would know that last name Bloodstone is related to Elsa Bloodstone, who is a very, very big character in that underworld, dark sci-fi side of Marvel. Elsa Bloodstone is a immortal monster hunter.
She is Ulysses' daughter.
So when you hear Bloodstone, you're like, oh, I wonder if Elsa's going to be there. She's there.
Yep.
And so the idea is that the patriarch of this group has passed on, and they have the actual Bloodstone gem.
Yeah.
And this is the first time in hundreds of years that this certain relic is up for grabs. And what they do is they affix the Bloodstone to a monster. And all the monster hunters have to go in there and kill that monster, and whoever gets the stone gets the stone. And so
basically becomes the leader of this said cult.
and then becomes the leader and has the right to carry the Bloodstone. And all these hunters are going in there, and they are fair game to each other. So it's kind of a battle royale. Whoever comes out gets it. Now, if you don't like violence, if you don't like gory stuff, don't watch this.
Now, mind you, it is black and white, so it's not like, you know how that goes with the gore isn't quite so
Sure.
dramatic than when you're seeing actual like colors.
But this, the themes of this are very Marvel in a lot of ways, but also a lot darker in terms of there is no, hey, I'm here for truth and justice. None of that nonsense. Those people, make no mistake, are there knowing they're about to try to kill each other. And they deliver on this. I'm not going to get too much into the spoilers until we say, hey, this is going to be spoiler territory. But I will say, of the one-offs and the stuff like that Marvel has put out, I feel like this was a bar setter. What do you think?
Do I think that it was a bar setter?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as just what they release, or
in terms of what they've released
new and
so
unique?
far.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that because, like you said, it is one of the more unique things that we've seen before, or that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
So it's like we've all been on this Marvel superhero train for so long, and embedded in this world that we haven't, like you said, we haven't seen a whole lot of the underdark sort of characters
Right.
and storyline. So yeah, I think it definitely, whether it's setting the bar for what we've currently seen or if it's setting kind of a new pathway for what we could see in the very near future with the darker side of the, not necessarily MCU, but I mean, sure, it'll all be connected, I bet. But yeah, I can see what you're saying.
I'd be interested to see how any of these characters would be able to get along with part of the regular MCU.
Oh yeah, no, I don't see that.
I don't think they could.
No.
See, I haven't seen it yet, and I was all for it until you said black and white, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that again.
So it's worth the 52 plus minutes to watch it because it is good and it's different. Like that's what I like so much about it is that it is different.
But it's very different, and though the black and white is an homage to the old monster movies, it doesn't feel like that at times. It feels very fluid.
Yeah,
It
and it's
looks
obviously
very good.
your newer black and white version of movies.
And
It's
it's
not like the you've got like the mechanic Frankenstein that it's just like terrible production.
It's
like
Is it
kind
like
of-
Sin City?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
it's a
Yeah,
little
it's
like
kinda
it's
like
a little
Sin
like
City.
Sin City. And what's kind of cool is that the bloodstone itself is the only thing that's color, so you see it red the whole
Okay,
time.
so exactly like Sin City.
Yeah,
then.
it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of have to, I think, because you wouldn't be able to see it on the back of the monster otherwise. Probably
that's very true.
you just wouldn't be able to.
Okay, so I want to go further into this, but I want to ask everybody in this room if they're okay with going into spoiler territory, because I know you haven't seen it.
Oh, I'm fine. Go ahead, man. Shoot your shot. Do your thing.
All right. So that's what we'll do. I want to talk about this, and I want to go more into detail because there's a lot of things to talk about. So here you go. Here's your spoiler warning. All right. We're about to get into Werewolf by Night. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers for this, pause it and go watch it and come back and listen, or, do your thing. We'll see you next week if you're not coming back, but whatever. You could have just paused it. It's just me. It's all I'm saying. But either way, let's get into it, shall we? Yeah. This was such an interesting take, and all these monster hunters show up and they're ready to kill whatever this thing is, and they start going over people's kill counts, like who does what. How many kills have you had? Oh, good job. You've got 30. And none of these people know each other. None of the hunters know each other. It's all anonymous. And then they get to the werewolf, which nobody knows he's a werewolf. And they're like,
they think he's just
like, oh, you're great. You've got 30 kills. You've got 40 something. And then our illustrious guy has 57. And he's kind of looking around like, I'm the fucking man. And then they go to Jack and they go, you've got 100 and something kills. And they're like, God damn.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, hi, hello.
And he's kind of like the dweeby guy even. Like, of the group, he doesn't, like, they all have kind of dangerous looks about them. And he's just kind of like, oh, hello.
And Elsa.
Looks like Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, I mean, in so many words.
And Elsa is kind of estranged from her family in this. Like, she comes up and her father was the only person that she was there for. She goes, I'm here for the Bloodstone.
And her stepmother's
basically like, you're a bitch. Nobody likes you. You're a failure. We all thought you were a failure up until the moment your father died. We just can't stand you. But since your last name's Bloodstone, you have a right to be here.
And all the monster hunters are kind of like, well, why the hell is she here? Like, we have the right to be here and she doesn't. And she was like, her last name is Bloodstone. She has the right to be here. So that was the only like good thing that her stepmom said about her in the entire movie.
Yeah.
She literally was like, she has a right to be here, but she also has a right to die. Like, she will die along with the rest of you. So.
But it gets down to the nitty gritty pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean, so we're in spoiler territory. The monster that they affixed the stone to is Man-Thing, the big giant swamp thing equivalent of in Marvel.
He has like the Cthulhu looking face with the red eyes still, but yeah, he's
and everywhere
a much bigger
he touches turns to ash or turns to acid, and like. The kind of his power is if he touches you and you're unpure, he'll burn the flesh off of your body.
Yeah,
which he does to a lot of people.
It's pretty cool,
and it's pretty damn hardcore.
So it starts out too is that you're like, I'm going into this thinking, and I didn't. Of course, these are all like guys going against each other, but you go in there thinking that it's just going to be the race to see who kills him, and they're immediately killing each other.
Oh yeah.
So like, and I mean that makes right. So like, it makes total sense, but it's like out the gate they're trying to kill each other. And I was like, oh shit, it's one of those.
I was
things.
gonna say, please tell me that Bloodstone kills a stepmom.
No.
Oh.
No, she doesn't.
That's sad.
She does not. But mom gets that shit come to her. And I'll tell you what, the werewolf does not spare anybody.
No.
When it's finally revealed that he's the werewolf, he's like, guys, don't do it. You don't want to do this. I'm telling you.
Yeah, he was like begging them, please don't.
We're gonna do this. He's like, this is the worst idea you've had, and you've had a lot. Please, y'all do this. It's gonna be a problem.
Because the Bloodstone, not only when it's affixed to a monster, not only does it weaken them, but you can actually control them with it. So
it reveals.
It reveals them. Sorry. So basically, that's what he was saying is, please don't do this, because it was going to take him out of his human form and put him into it, and that's how they drag him out.
And that's kind of what he tells him. He's like, guys, 101 kills. I didn't do it like this.
Yeah.
So if you flip the switch, you're gonna get the other guy, and when he shows up, y'all are dead.
Yeah, I'm Jack that works at an apothecary otherwise. So, like...
And so the long story short is he is there to save the Man-Thing.
Yeah.
Because that's his buddy.
His friend. Yeah.
His best friend. He's like... he sees him in the maze and he's like, bro, what the every time I gotta come get you out of here.
That's funny because like I didn't even catch that until you just said it. Whenever he touches things, it ends up they turn to acid. And when you first see their interaction, he's standing up against, and we're in spoiler territory. So
like
sorry,
a hedge,
I'm telling you. Yeah. He's basically like standing up against a hedge, and Man-Thing's arm just comes out and slams him in the chest, and nothing happens to him because he's a monster.
And he does that,
friend.
and he's just like, "Oh,
He's
buddy,
like, oh, buddy." And
Yeah.
his name's Ted. He calls Man-Thing Ted.
But,
So like, there's a. I mean, I would say there's a minor humor, but there's really not. I mean,
there is some good humor.
There's some humor, but it's like sprinkle humor because it's not supposed to be a funny
But
movie.
for him having the highest kill count, I mean, he runs into Elsa first in the maze, and he's like, "Let's just act like we didn't see each other." She's like, "What?"
Yeah.
He's like, I'll go my way, you go your way," and then eventually they get back together, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm here to
I'm actually breaking him
break
out.
my buddy
She doesn't
out.
say, he doesn't tell her this is who I am, but he says, I'm here to break out the monster, period.
Right.
He's my friend and we're getting him out. And so like they kind of work together because she wants the bloodstone and he wants to get his friend out. And that's basically like they work together and 30 seconds later the plan is.
But I'm telling you, limbs
fulfilled.
getting ripped off, people's necks getting bit out of their head.
Yeah.
I mean, people getting their skin melted off of their bodies.
Yeah. To be completely honest, I don't want to say it certainly isn't a letdown, but since we're talking kind of just our feelings on it in general, I was expecting it to even be a little bit more gory and even a little bit more, not necessarily gory, but scary.
So
I was kind of going into it like, is this going to be one of those movies? It's not like a jump scare, but like your heart's constantly racing because there was so much hype about it being such a thriller. And I felt like it was just a good movie. Like I didn't feel like actually scared.
That was another thing.
that's
Is
fine.
It does keep you engaged
It
for
does.
the entire
It does.
runtime of this show.
Yeah, it does.
The entire special. I'm not kidding. From start to finish, you are engaged, and that's hard to do.
And the very, very end is actually in color, and it's kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it's
But,
kind of really pretty. And you were talking about the special effects. At least with the werewolf was done. It wasn't CGI.
It looks very practical.
Yeah.
It's not like Van Helsing. It's they put somebody in a suit. He looks like the old school Wolfman.
Yeah.
And when I saw that and the way they did it with that Marvel kind of finishing touch, there's a part where he is the werewolf and they can't find him, and then they kind of hide him in plain sight. And when they did that, I was like, that is fucking badass. Pardon my French.
Yeah.
But I was like, that was really stinking cool.
I would say, like, going into this, I was like, the boys can't watch this. Like, and, you know, they're preteens.
And I'd say
So-
it might
but I-
still scare your children.
It might, but I think ours will be safe.
I think at least one of ours will
Yeah.
get up and walk out at certain parts of it because I was like, this is a bit much for kids.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're expecting it, if you've let your kids watch, like, you know, Freddy movies or something like that,
for
this
sure.
is nothing.
This is nothing. Yeah. I don't want to say it's kid friendly because it's certainly not. It is gory. But again, I think that it being in that even renewed black and white look, I think that kind of shields a little bit of the reality to it.
Yeah.
So it made it a little less like gruesome. It's like it's certainly gross and
But
gruesome,
I'm talking like it's not just like, oh no, that guy's bleeding. It's
pouring
there
out
are
of his
some
body.
moments where I was like, this is the most violent thing I've seen in the MCU so far.
That man basically turned to liquid.
Well, not even that. I mean, there are some scenes with Elsa that I was like, oh, she is not playing around.
No.
And
yeah, she's badass. She's like, I was impressed with her.
she's somebody that I would expect to see back.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not going to tell you about Man-Thing or the werewolf, but Elsa, you can bet $1 you will see her again. I could see her teaming up with. Did you listen to what last week's episode?
What's the snowman's name?
Snowman.
Elsa, snowman. What's his name?
Olaf.
Oh, Olaf.
Yeah, her and Olaf gonna get it.
Yes. Did you listen to last week's episode?
No, unfortunately, I have
Well,
not
in,
yet.
in 2025, when Blade comes out,
Yeah,
No.
buddy.
Wow.
yeah, we've had some serious delays, but I could see Elsa and Blade definitely teaming up. I could see a lot of elements from that special being mentioned later on down the road.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. I'm excited for more. I hope we get to see and here's another thing. Werewolf by Night, we said we were going to see in Moon Knight. Now that I've seen Werewolf by Night, I 1,000% agree with him not being in Moon Knight. He did not belong in Moon Knight.
So is the timeline the same?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that I wasn't sure about, because it does have that older sort of, like, just even the way that some of them dress. And I know that it literally was, it's not like it was days in this hour film. It's not like days have passed. It's literally like one evening that they're all out there doing this shit.
It's almost like a bottle episode. It happens, It starts on this property, it ends on this property.
Yep. Exactly. So, but I just didn't know if it was at the same timeline because of how, like, everybody dressed a little bit kind of regally, a little bit older, but it could be just because they're all associated to the ceremony. So that's why I was like, I can't really depict how that works.
I'm telling you, if you watch this, you can tell. And it started with Loki when they said, "Oh, we're taking down demigods, vampires, blah, 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 blah." There are heavy mentions of vampires in this show, even a sighting of vampires. So the gloves are coming off. The more and more we talk about it, the more and more my theory is coming true. So Werewolf by Night, guys, check it out. It was awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Awesome. Let's talk about next week, shall we? We've got a finale for She-Hulk. It's coming out. It's going to be a thing. There's been a lot of ups and downs with this show, to the point where people are starting to say that they're losing faith in the MCU and the way things are going.
Oh, man, I'm only on like episode 5, and I still love it, so I hope not.
But I was going to say I'm an exception to that. I've loved She-Hulk. I thought it was great, but there's a lot of people, and I get where they're coming from and what they're saying, but also... I love that She-Hulk is self-aware because she pokes fun at the man babies who can't handle the fact that there's a She-Hulk. Deal with it. But I've seen some leaks for...
Why? It's not like she's a brand new character. Her ass has been around a long time.
No, I know. But, people take offense, or some men take offense when they indicate that there is a strong female character, and they can't allow for there to be a strong female character without it being an attack on them as men.
Okay, well,
is my thought on this. What do you think?
I don't know. It's a fucking character, bro. I don't care. I don't think that much deep. It ain't that deep.
I think actually, now that I say that, I think this is pretty typical of critics, which, to tread lightly, we are in that group, but a lot of critics like to, they're kind of that 1 or 2% who are really, really loud. So then the conception is that there's a big problem. But generally, I think it's been a great show.
I would say, so far from what I've seen, I have thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's probably my favorite Marvel series so far.
Really?
Yes.
I am genuinely shocked to hear that from you. I still think nothing can take Loki for me.
Right. Same.
I think Loki has been the overall best of all of them.
Loki for me.
I'm also biased.
Was a slog. That was hard to get through, along with WandaVision for me.
Wow, and those are the top 2, I think, for you, huh?
For me, yeah. For me, Loki was the best. WandaVision, in terms of its uniqueness, would be in second place. Werewolf by Night right after that. And then, so on and so forth. Yeah, there's more shows that are great. I'd love to say that Hawkeye was the best one, even because he's my favorite Avenger, but it's not. It's not the best one.
For me, it was probably She-Hulk and then Winter Soldier.
Captain and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
But see, you're also a big Hulk guy, so that makes sense. So it's like,
honestly, I think I like it just because of the way she's represented. And the way it's happening,
I think it's well done. Yeah,
yeah.
I
don't want to do this, but
an
I have
episode
to do
or 2
this.
behind, but I've liked it a lot. Yeah.
And that's the whole theme of the show. Now, the complaints that I've heard from people is that this isn't driving the MCU forward. Like Loki drove the MCU forward like crazy. WandaVision drove the MCU forward, to which led to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Captain America furthered the story for the Super Soldier, introduced Baron Zemo, that moved forward. Hawkeye really only moved forward his story.
Yeah.
Moon Knight introduced a bit of the supernatural, but it was kind of self-contained.
And actually, that was probably my least favorite out of anything.
That one didn't move things forward. Visually, great. Acting-wise, great. Villain, I wasn't really a fan of that. Moon Knight as a whole was, to me, okay.
It was better for me after like the 5th or 6th episode. I struggled through the whole.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one was rough.
Once I understood what the hell was going on.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is a lot of people had trouble following.
Yeah,
where
it was
Moon Knight
tough
was going.
to follow. Like it was just tough to follow. So that I don't know if that's a writing block or just going into it not knowing the character well enough to understand it, which is probably
That's fair.
That's probably what it was, because anybody who knows Moon Knight knows the multiple personalities and stuff. And I did not know him, so I was like, I am so fucking lost.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Is like this could be partially due to just how people understand these comics and what your favorite is.
Yeah.
Like,
And I'm sorry, but She-Hulk's story is moving the MCU forward. She's working with Meg Thee Stallion. I don't know how much forward.
She's certainly in the now.
Yada yada.
I know you like that.
That's
She's
it.
certainly in the now, if nothing else. That's forward movement.
Yeah, I mean, and I think you're going to get all the forward movement you want in the finale. Yeah, I think this is going to be another one of
Based on
those
the spoilers?
where a lot of things happen, and it all just kind of
It leaves you. Yeah, it leaves you with movement. It's like all of this has been basically a precedent to where it's going.
All these things that you've been looking at so far are going to finally come crashing in at the last moment. I don't know if it's going to be the leader. I don't know if it's going to be some other unknown enemy that's pushing things against She-Hulk, but I think it's going to go down.
I just want to make her an Avenger.
I think.
I don't think you'll have to wait.
Yeah.
So
New League of Avengers for sure.
Yeah. I mean, we're already looking at a whole entire new lineup of
and
Avengers.
A bunch of different team ups. I mean, we've got the Thunderbolts. We've got what's the other one? There's like isn't there like
there's
3 or 4?
Thunderbolts. There's Young Avengers. There's the Guardians that are still doing their thing. You got a lot of different teams, and then you have the OG Avengers who are still floating around.
Yeah.
Some of them. And then you're going to have the Defenders who are going to make an appearance.
That's the other one I was trying to think of. It's like you have a bunch of different mashup team-ups that are all going to be...
Well, then you're going to have the Midnight Suns.
Yeah, the street-level guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have it all.
It's cool.
All but Blade.
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen. If we have a delay next week, it's because we'll have a new cast member that we're working on.
I'm working on her. She's almost ready.
But hopefully we'll be here no matter what. But we will keep you guys updated. As always, thank you so much for listening to episode 121 of the Alter Ego Podcast. Check us out on Instagram, Alter Ego Pod. You can check us out on Facebook at the Alter Ego Podcast. We are on Discord. Send us a message. You can email us at alteregopodcast2@gmail. And obviously, you're listening now here on either Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast. Please do us a favor. Share it with your friends. Lie to them. Tell them we're awesome. Get them in here so we can make them listen to ads and we can make money and then forget about why we did this in the first place.
Exactly.
This is brought to you by Geico, but not really.
Gotta get that ad money, baby.
You know.
It doesn't have to be like 3 minutes longer so we can throw in another set of ads.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, we're gonna put the music on a loop and just sit here and listen to it for 2 minutes and 20 more seconds.
Void where prohibited. Participation may vary.
Daddy needs to buy a new Ferrari.
2 new Ferraris.
Yeah.
Make it 3.
Yeah, let's just keep talking so we can put 5 more ads on this.
Get that ad money, baby. I might actually be able to afford that battle pass now.
Hey.
There you go.
This is awkward because we're just standing here looking at the clock.
Spend your money. Spend your money on Alter Ego Podcast. Spend your money on us.
What?